like you popping a red pill. Ain't no time for acting, it's like camera action. Real life is a script, real talk is what it is. Enlighten your 6 sense, we back at it again. Until you can't filter it, it's raw, uncut, no taste.
Yo, what's up? This is your boy DJ Talented, and this is the show, The Real,
The Raw,
and the
motherfucking rugged.
So you see how we get down every week, Saturdays at noon. But hey, enjoy yourself. We don't have a drink today. But what I'm drinking on is some Gatorade. I ain't trying to give out no free publicity or nothing like that, but hey, gotta get my sip on.
Non-alcoholic, that's all right.
Yeah, non-alcoholic for today. But we're going to get down later. So, hey, we're going to have our drink later. But if you got your drink, pick it up, take a sip, and enjoy the show. To my right, I have
Miss Entertainment.
And special guest for today. To my left, I have
Mr. Willie D. Davis.
Hey, man, Willie has done a plethora of things. He can take you through all sorts of stuff. But guess what? You'll hear some of it on the show today.
We're going to go ahead and go right into the interview. Remember?
Hey, we got to introduce ourselves.
Oh, okay. I thought that's what we did. Go ahead.
How was your week, Miss Entertainment?
My week was interesting. I still struggle with how to do my job and everybody else's job too. If we all just do what we said we're going to do, it'll make life a whole lot better.
All right, Mr. Willie, how was your week?
The week has been awesome. I've been busy every day this week.
Well, that's a good thing.
Always. It's better to be busy than to be in trouble.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely. We can get some hand claps going on up in there somewhere. Mr. Willie, we're going to start off with a slight interview for you. So,
keep going.
Look here. Miss Entertainment always getting on me about having stuff hanging. Got my mask. We safe around here. But Mr. Willie, you are an actor, stage and film. You have 5 books out there. And you have your own music company. Can you give us a little brief introduction of how you got started?
Originally, I started in music.
Okay.
Came from Grand Rapids, Michigan, doing hip-hop music.
Okay.
Came to Atlanta because my style at that time for up north was more West Coast than East Coast. So I had to find a little bit more freedom.
Okay.
Came to Atlanta, started doing a few shows here. Met a young lady that was an actress, and she said she couldn't find any acting jobs in Atlanta. So I got into it just out of curiosity, really.
Okay.
And I met up with a gentleman by the name of Bobby Peoples, who put me in his movie. I think one of his first movies called Pursuit of the American Dream.
Okay.
And he actually opened the door for me for more acting. He actually introduced me to a lady named Shahara Ruth, who was doing a stage play called The Ancestors Live Here.
Okay.
And then she introduced me to a lady named Cynthia Hucci, who was also doing a stage play. And it just kept going from there. And actually this year, or last year now, it's already 2022.
Yeah, time is flying.
So, last year, I was voted by Dr. Angela Harris as their groups, Black People United, in the Black I Am Awards. I was voted as the 2021 Actor on the Grind. And then from Brian Marshall, I was voted ATL's hottest actor, male. So
Okay. Good. And with the 5 books you wrote, can you give us a little bit of insight on those?
2 of them are gangster novels.
Okay.
It's called Love for the Game, and I'm actually trying to finish the final chapter, which is called Love for the Game Endgame, where everything is tied together. And everything, the first 3 books, they take place here in Atlanta. Love for the Game is about a rogue FBI agent whose partner was killed undercover. And he has an idea as to who did it, but he can't prove it. So what he's doing is he's orchestrating a gang war between the gang in Mechanicsville and the gang in Buckhead.
Okay.
And so that's basically what's going on with that one. And the 3rd book is going to tie everything together with how everything got orchestrated. Brutal also takes place in Atlanta, and that's like a psychotic thriller.
Okay.
He's kidnapping people around Atlanta. He's doing torturous things to them, murdering them. But he's also in conflict with himself because he has a split personality. So he's fighting with both sides are fighting for control,
Mhm.
as well as doing devious things around Atlanta. So, and actually, some of the characters from Love for the Game appeared in group.
Okay.
Um, the other two books are poetry books because I also write poetry. Now the difference between Brutal and Love for the Game is Love for the Game is written from a first person perspective. So that's like a challenge because I'm actually writing from the mind of all of the characters.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay.
And it's how they see the events as they happen. Brutal was just written just as a straight out story. But Love for the Game is interesting because like I'm the detectives, I'm the gangsters on both sides. I even write from the mind, and, which is very difficult as a pregnant woman.
Yeah, that's got to be because we never know what they go through.
No, so it's interesting, but I have a lot of female friends and I get insight from them.
Okay.
But it's different when you're trying to write in the mind of a female being a male.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's way different.
Where can you find these books? Are they published?
Yes, man, they are published. They're pretty much everywhere. But the main site that they're on is a site called lulu.com.
Okay.
But they've been instrumental in getting me in Borders, Barnes and Noble. They even have me in Walmart.
Okay.
Okay, good. You in Walmart, you everywhere.
So I push for people, especially us, that want to write books and want to get them published. Lulu is a very good site to do that because they don't charge you anything. They charge you based. The way that it operates is there's a charge for how many pages it is, but they don't make any money unless your book sells.
So tell us a little bit more about that because I am an author too. Thank you very much.
Well, once you sign up on there, you let them know how many pages that your book is.
Mm-hmm.
It's so many cents a page. They give you a set price for what they give you a price that they will sell it at, and you can add your own price on it so that you make a profit. So, say just for an example, if you sell your book for like $15, they might get $3,
Mm-hmm.
and you get the rest.
Mm-hmm.
But they only get their money if your book sells.
Okay.
So there's none in this. Pay me $2,000-3,000 up front, and then we'll get it out there. They also have this thing that's called global distribution, which is what they use to get the books out there. And they broadcast it. They put it on all of the websites.
So they kind of do marketing too for you. Okay.
So I got into it because my book, Love for the Game, actually started out as a short story contest entry in a magazine called Creative Loafing here in Atlanta. And I was bored. So I just like, what the heck? I got mentioned. I didn't win, but I got mentioned. So it kind of pushed me to see what else I could do with it, which I Love for the Game came about.
Mm-hmm.
Then I started hearing about publishing, and I went through that same thing, trying to deal with people, and they wanted $2,000-3,000 here and there. Listening to Steve Harvey and Michael Basin about how they did self-publishing was how I found Lulu.com.
Mm-hmm. I'm definitely gonna have to check that out.
So the information is out there. Like I tell people, it's nice to get advice from other folks about how to do things, but do your own research.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely.
Because there are people out here, like you say, you're an author yourself. There are people out here that will tell us that we're crazy, that we're wasting our time. Why do you want to write a book? Nobody's going to read it. Most of those people are people that have probably tried it and it didn't work, so they gave up. And because they see you doing it and that you look at the point that you're about to achieve it, they don't want to see you succeed.
Yeah.
Mm. I agree. One of my things I've always said is like, because I have, what's that? Voyage ATL reached out to me to, to do an article in there. It's like, what are the lessons that you learn? And it's like, one is be okay with people not supporting you. It's okay with it. It's okay. Everybody can't go with you. Just as long as you don't let them distract you from what you're trying to achieve.
Exactly.
So I totally agree with you on that. You just keep moving forward because you're gonna have your naysayers or the ones they're like, but But as soon as you make it big, here they come.
Exactly. Now
Here they
everybody
come.
knows you, and everybody's family and everybody's friends.
Yeah, come on, cuz.
I knew you could do it. I was behind you all the way.
Yep.
You were far behind.
Way down there.
It was so far I couldn't even see back then.
And then it gives me the opportunity to look like, you get that back. So tell us about the music too, because you doing it all. You entertainer.
I'm a hip hop artist. Stage name is Next Icon. And Next Icon is actually an acronym for No Excuses I Can Overcome Negativity.
Dope.
And it's rap, it's hip hop, it's a little bit of ballads, because I'm in the mind state. Well, I've always been in the mind state. It's just kind of progressed even more so where I'm trying to get the music back to where we actually love women.
Okay.
You know, before, can I curse?
Yeah,
Okay.
we do it all the time. And you hear that motherfucking rugged.
This is y'all show, so y'all can do that. But back before women were bitches and hoes and thoughts and all of this in the music, there was a time that we actually loved y'all and we actually catered to y'all. Like, I go back to like LL, I Need Love. So I'm
Round away, girl.
So I have music now that is designed to go back to that way. And I actually just released a single this year called Pillow Talk.
Okay.
And I actually did a short set last Saturday of original ballad hip hop.
Okay.
When you say a short set, you performed?
Yes, ma'am.
Where did you perform at?
In my living room.
Oh, okay.
And I had my phones up and my computers up, and I did everything live because of the pandemic and everything. I do get out to certain events, but I'm cautious.
Okay.
And we have to find, if you're an entertainer, if you're a performer, you're gonna find a way to perform, even if it's in your living room. There are sites that are geared for that. But I did mine on Facebook Live.
Okay. Awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome.
So I have a total of 8 or 9 albums that I've self-produced. I've been featured on 10 compilations, and I've had 2 of my songs in independent movie contracts.
Oh, wow. Can you talk about the movies?
One of them was called The List. It was by KUUNTAAR Muhammad, and I was actually a thug in that movie.
Okay.
But the song that they used was "Ain't Gonna Take It," and I don't know why they picked that song, but they picked it. But that was actually a song about domestic violence. Well, actually, against domestic violence, not for it, but against it.
Yeah.
The second one is I have a song called "Get That Money," and a young lady by the name of April Whitaker, she has a show called Undercover Detective, and she uses that song as the intro.
Wow.
Okay.
Nice. So do you write? Do you compose?
I write. I guess you could say I compose. I'm good with beat programming and MIDI sequencing, but I cannot play an instrument to save my life.
Okay.
But luckily, we have technology that makes me sound like a virtuoso.
Yeah.
So if you put me on a music program, about 5 minutes, I can figure out how to get it to work and make a nice little track. But to sit there and I play keyboard like I type.
Oh, okay. That's okay.
But
you make it happen.
Result
exactly.
Exactly.
If you hear the music, you're like, oh my God, this guy is awesome. It's the computer.
And a couple fingers, and that is. So what's upcoming? Do you have anything coming up or getting ready to do anything?
I'm actually going to be filming a movie called 140 Minutes with Michael Simmons. Then I'll be a detective in a series called Chasing Malcolm. And this is by Chadwick. I got to make sure I say his name right. Chadwick Whitmire. And that's myself and a gentleman named Joel Rogers. We play detectives and we're chasing a serial killer.
Okay.
So we've interviewed him once. We have in mind that he's a suspect, but we're still trying to catch him. So we're supposed to be starting to film that I think in February or March. And then I'm working with Asar Freeman with another web series called Moshe, which is, he describes it as a gangster love story.
Okay.
So you've been in the game a while, and you know you're doing this, you're doing pretty much everything. Is Do you get tired, or are you at the level you want to be?
No, because I still think I have further to go.
Mm-hmm.
I'm tired. No, I'm like, so I got into the acting thing by accident, but it's been fun.
Because you know people get, you know, if they like we was talking about that instant gratification. If I'm not here by at this certain level by this time in my life, then then there's nothing. Do you ever felt discouraged or just like, "Ah, maybe that's not for me"? What keeps you going?
The excitement. I love the whole with the acting. I love the whole process, the audition process, the actually getting the role. Like to me, it's not about the money.
Okay.
Like I lived a life where I probably made more money than some of these folks have ever seen.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm at the point now that as long as my bills are paid, I'm good. So it's fun to me. Like the first time that I saw my name, I did a movie a while back called Fighting Angels, and I was a vampire. And they did the preview, the premiere, and the first time that I saw my name come across the screen in the credits, it's like that's a whole different feeling.
I agree.
Yeah. She's actually she's acting for some of our own movies and stuff.
It's a whole different feeling, like to see where you started. Like when I first started, like I did a music video, like literally if you blink, you'll miss me.
Mm-hmm.
And then I met Bobby Peoples, and actually in his movie, I was supposed to be an extra, but the guys that was supposed to be the hitmen didn't show. So I tell people I got promoted.
Well, you did.
I promoted from extra to a hitman.
Yeah.
And I still joke about it because I got killed by the guy coming out the bathroom. He came out the bathroom, pow, and I dropped him. Like, really? Dude, did you wash your hands before you shot me?
Like, nah. I need to get that out of the way.
But it's just fun because I said because of Bobby People, like I said, he opened the door for me to a lot of opportunities to where I am now. So it's almost to the point where that people refer me. Like, that's how I got for chasing Malcolm. The original guy couldn't do that, but he referred me. So I didn't have to audition or anything. I just had to show up.
Okay.
So it's awesome. Like you could be all these different people, and it's legal. You can't go to jail for impersonating anybody.
Right.
Yeah.
So, but it's fun. Like I've been a hitman. I've been a vampire. I've been a detective. I've been an FBI agent. I did a film called One Night Stand, and the guy is a martial artist. And I'm short, as y'all can see. And it was funny because like every move he did, we can't afford stuntmen. So it's like every time that he did something, he's like, "Oh my God, Will, are you okay? Are you okay?" I'm like, "Dude, I'm fine." I'm like, "Man, I didn't mean to kick you so hard. Dude, listen, I'm just short.
That's it.
But I'm tougher than what you think that I am. Like I come up from the street like this is nothing. Like this is nothing. Like
Mm-hmm.
Like we were talking earlier, uncles grabbed us and slammed us, and we on them like our wrestling matches were not in the ring.
No.
If anybody from the old school know, our wrestling matches were not in the ring. We was outside in the grass, on the concrete, slamming each other up against the house, and your mommy yelled, "Get off my house!
Get off my car!" So we slam people on cars too.
But it was just so funny. Like, but man, I just don't want to hurt you. I'm like, "Dude, I'm fine. What's the next scene?"
Yeah.
But it's fun. Like I just love it. Like I want to work before they get out of the game. I want to work with Denzel, of course. Everybody does.
Mm.
But and Will Smith. Well, my goal is I want to be a superhero.
Okay.
I don't know. I know all the superheroes are like 6 foot, something like that. But
not necessarily. Because look at the show Naomi. She's a Black little girl. I mean, she's a teenager. So why not?
That's my next goal is to be a superhero. Even if I got I'm actually taking what I've learned from some of the other writers and directors, and I'm learning how to write my own scripts.
Because that was my next question.
I've actually did a short film of my own called The Uninvited Guest, and so far everybody has liked it. It was my first time And what I do is I experiment on myself.
Mm-hmm.
And everybody kind of like it, so I'm trying to expand it now. I'm trying to let my mind flow free with it. So I will be looking to work with some other actors. I have a couple. I have an idea for it. It's called So Many Questions, which is going to be the 3rd episode.
Okay.
And what happens is there's a guy that breaks into my house to kill me,
Ooh.
and I kill him first.
Oh.
But now I have a mess to clean up, and So Many Questions is my cleanup guy shows up, and my girlfriend shows up, and as he's walking out, she's walking in, and there's this body wrapped in this rug, and she's more like, "Well, where are you going with my rug?" And he's trying to explain without explaining. And so while I'm trying to deal with them in the back room, there's going to be 2 detectives coming in the front because they're responding to the sound of shots being heard.
Mm.
So I'm working it out in my mind, but I will be looking for some people to help me pull that together. But it's the whole process is fun, and like you just learn a lot. Like I learn a lot from different people.
Same here.
Yeah.
Same here.
And it's double-sided with that. You learn what to do, and then you learn what not to do.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why I tell people, like, get around folks that are going to answer your questions intelligently. But you also have to ask intelligent questions.
Yeah.
So when I was on set, I had a lot of people think that I was brown nosing. Because I'm walking up to you, hey, man, when you do this, what are you doing when you're doing this, and how you doing this? And they're like, look at him over there. It's like, no.
They just mad because they ain't think of it.
Right. In the meantime, I'm
trying to learn.
Right. I'm asking the cameraman, different angles and different, what kind of camera do you use and this and that. And I go home and what they give me, I try and apply it.
Mm-hmm.
Well, what works in one scene, one angle doesn't work.
Mm-hmm.
But it may work somewhere else, but you don't know if you don't try it.
Mm-hmm.
But again, like I ask people, I ask questions.
Me too.
And you have to, but again, make sure that you get around the right people, because they say that the circle that you're around, you either in a cage or you're in a think tank.
Mm.
Yeah.
And I've heard it like that.
And
Okay.
if your people are not helping you grow and to learn, you're in a cage.
Mm-hmm.
But get around the people that are knowledgeable, that will answer your questions, and that will help you get you to the next level.
Yeah, I can definitely see some people as being cages. They ain't trying to they ain't trying to let you grow. They just want you to stay right there. Right there with them.
They don't want you to succeed because people have us in a box. In a box where they like us, that they have us fit in. And once you start coming out of that box, you're a threat now, because you're moving away. Like you said, everybody can't go with you.
Mm-hmm.
And growth, it is what it is. Now, if you meant to be there, you meant to be there. But if you're not, it's no personal hard feelings.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
But
keeping it moving.
I'm trying to achieve something, and either you're helping me to achieve it or you're holding me back.
Right. Because if I'm not growing, if you're not helping me grow, then you're taking away.
Definitely.
Yeah. All righty. How can people reach you and get in contact with you? Because you say you got some stuff coming up. You got some stuff you have done. So how can you got website? What's going on?
I am music-wise. I am everywhere. If you type next icon in, you probably gonna get like about 30 pages about music.
Okay.
But on Facebook, music-wise, it's next icon. Acting is Will D4, the actor, and on Instagram and what's that? Twitter, it's the actor Willie D. I also have the actor Willie D on YouTube, and next icon is on YouTube, of course. So I'm like, just type my name in. I'm everywhere, and people have probably seen me around Atlanta because I get as many functions as I can. We're in the pandemic, but I still try to get around, and I just like working with people.
Yeah.
Cool. You gotta get your website and go ahead and pull all that stuff in at one side.
I'm working on. I do have one, but it's long. It's called sharonman.wixsite.com /KUUNTAAR music.
Yeah.
So, but we don't have a whole lot of money, so I got to go with free sites for a little while.
Okay. Hey, you gotta do what you gotta do. Hey.
But it works. It helps give me bookings, and it does let people see what it is that I'm about.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
So I can't look. I'm gonna tell y'all this. I came from the streets, and people wrote me off. Said I wasn't going to do anything. Said I wasn't going to be anything. I Came to Atlanta, changed my whole life around. Done doing movies, writing books, and I came from being a street thug to being, well, last year I was the president of a Toastmasters club.
Mm-hmm.
So my message to especially my brothers out there, don't let me like Les Brown has a saying, don't let somebody's perception of you become your reality.
There you go.
Right.
You can be whoever it is that you want to be. Don't let your past dictate your future, because I came from where people thought, and even to a point I thought that I wasn't going to do anything else because people had said it so much
Mm-hmm.
that at one point I had resigned myself to either being in a grave or being in a jail cell for the rest of my life.
Now look at you. Look at God.
Don't let everybody else rule your mind. You can be whoever you want to be. Let your bad turn into something good.
Mhm.
You know, take that negative energy and turn it into a positive philosophy. Because if I can do it, then anybody can do it.
Yeah, definitely.
Now, write that book, write that song. If you want to act, be an actor. Like, I walked into it. And last year, I got 2 awards for my acting.
That's nice.
Nothing is impossible.
Nothing.
You just have to believe.
Okay. Well, we're going to go ahead on and move on to our hot topics. All right. Hot topic. Joe Rogan, a giant in podcasting with over 11 million followers on Spotify, recently was talking about Black people are really not Black. Yes. Now, this came after Dr. Michael Eric Dyson called his guest Jordan Peterson a mean, angry white man. He said that the true Black people are from the darkest place in Africa where they weren't wearing any clothes. He felt that it's strange for people that are literally his color calling themselves Black. Yes, he said this. Y'all looking at me like, really? Yes. But he is a podcast king. He has over 11 million followers, but he's spewing out all this ignorance. So the host and comedian Trevor Noah, made a whole skit off of his ignorance, and it's really pretty funny. So pull it up, Trevor Noah and Joe Rogan. But let's be clear, Black is a term that was given to us. When we were in Africa, we were identified by tribes. It was only after when we were taken by force from our land and culture and brought into this country where we labeled Black, Negro, and nigger, basically to deny us our rights and dignity owed to us as human beings. And also, let's remember the law, that 1% of Black blood. If you had 1% of Black blood in you, then you were considered Black, and which was another way of demonizing, us as a people. So, what are you guys' thoughts on that?
Yeah, right now I think everybody Black then. It's all mixed up right now.
Even with the white race, because I mean, let's be real. Let's be real and let's be honest with it. I mean,
that's a picture of Mr. Joe.
I mean, white people are not 100% white.
No.
I mean, if you want to be specific about it, you're not 100% white. And in all actuality, like y'all done the research to try and disprove that Black folks were the originals. But your research has led you back to what?
Black folks were the originals.
Mm-hmm.
It led you right back to Africa.
Yep.
So y'all are more mixed than what we are.
Mm-hmm.
But you want to say, but y'all claim that you're 100% white supremacist, Aryan nation. Y'all not 100% white.
Mm-mm. And I think he is Italian. And just remember, Italian, when they came over to this country, they were just like niggas.
Exactly.
They didn't want them nowhere. The Italians, the Irish, they weren't considered white. They didn't
Irish and Italian.
They didn't want them working here or living here. It's just not they weren't hanging them, but but they were discriminated too. So it's just crazy to me.
See, they've forgotten that part.
Mm-hmm.
They've forgiven that part to where they were in the same situation that were in and still are in, because they still hanging us in 2022.
Yes.
Yeah.
They still hanging us. They still killing us. They still we're still. I still go by what the Constitution says, when they still listen to us as 3/5 of a human being.
That's true too.
That's crazy.
They've never taken that out of the Constitution.
Still to this day.
So they still have not viewed us as being 100% human.
Crazy.
But it's almost like he's and when has Africa been where they don't have any clothes on?
There are some tribes right now in Africa
Right.
that run around naked. They got some kind of clothes on.
They show everything.
Yeah, there's still some that show everything that they're not a part of it. They're not a part of the culture. I mean, if they want to be specific, I mean, clothes wearing what didn't even occur until biblically when Adam and Eve bit the apple or whatever it was that they bit, and because they were ashamed, they covered themselves to hide their guilt from God.
Yeah.
According to the Bible, that's where clothes came from. And wearing clothes, but there are tribes that are in Africa that they don't wear anything. It's not their custom. It's their, that's how they live. It's nothing. America is the only country that feels this need to shame you for the way that your body looks.
Because it was definitely to me of how he put it in a way of to degrade, and then most of Africa they have some kind of covering, but even if it doesn't, that's like you're saying, that's part of their culture. But how you try to say it is like it was degrading, it's like really.
He ain't shit.
It's America's thing. It's America's thing to degrade anything that they feel is not holy in their perception, and yet they have nudist colonies.
Yeah.
Yeah,
here
priests.
in America.
Some of them priests that keep messing with them kids, but
I mean, if you want to be honest, some of them need to keep things going.
Yeah.
But you're in no position to judge a race that you haven't been.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And a place that you haven't been to.
Right. And that you're never going to be. And even if you have been there, that still does not give you the position, the place of judgment, because unless you wake up one day and you Black,
yeah,
you're not going to understand the culture. You're not going to understand the history. You're not going to understand the mind state, which is why they have these, when you get in trouble with the law, for losing your temper, they send you to anger management classes.
Mm-hmm.
If you're Black, your anger management instructor is Caucasian. You've never been Black a day in your life.
So how can you understand what I'm going through?
The way that I respond to a situation is going to be way different.
Mm-hmm.
Because number one, it's a culture difference. It's a color difference. The whole environment is different.
Yep.
So you're not in any position to say who's 100% Black and who's not when you're not even 100% your nationality. You say he's Italian?
Yeah, I believe he said he was Italian.
But you're not 100% Italian. I promise you.
Because Italian was mixed with Black.
just about every race on this planet has integrated with the Black race at some point in time.
Yeah.
Whether you want to admit it, whether you want to embrace it or not, the truth is what the truth is. Like you said, if you got 1% of Black blood in you, there's no distinction.
Nope.
Yeah, lightest version of
it. But yeah, I just thought that was crazy.
Yeah, I mean,
isn't this the same person that was spewing out the crazy information about the vaccines?
Yes, from what I understand. Yeah, I'm not a follower or listener. He just,
I'm not either.
But yeah, they did talk about how he was talking crazy about vaccines. So yeah.
And yet, this is the people that y'all want to follow for advice.
He has 11 million followers.
So you right along there with Trump telling y'all to go ahead and drink the bleach, the hip.
Yeah, he's along that line.
He's
along that line.
Dumb as hell.
While we sitting over here on the side, like, yeah, the last time I knew the bleach was just good for whites.
Clothes.
Yeah. I ain't remember my mama telling me to drink no bleach. So.
Dumb.
All right, we'll move on to our next story. A Tennessee woman, Joyce Watkins, who was wrongfully convicted of murdering her great niece and spent 27 years in prison, was fully exonerated this week. So Miss Joyce and her boyfriend at the time went to pick up her great niece. Once they got home, they noticed blood in her underwear. They rushed the 4-year-old child to the hospital where she later died. So the couple was charged with rape and murder. Fast forward 30 years later, with the help of the Innocent program, both of them were exonerated of all crimes. From the report, basically, the prosecution team lied and the coroner used a proven unreliable test to calculate the time of injury of the child. Now, unfortunately, the boyfriend died in jail, but Miss Joyce, she got both of their names cleared. Now, looking at the report of of them in court, one of the things, it's horrible the fact that they spent 30 years, in jail for something that they didn't do. But one of the lawyers said that where being wrongly accused rarely happens in the court system.
That's a lie.
That is a lie.
Especially when it comes to African Americans.
Exactly.
They're going to, them motherfuckers. Look,
How many of us fit the description? I mean, I've been in that situation where the guy, their description was short, black with glasses. And
yeah, how many of us out there?
yes, how many of us is short, black with glasses? And their only witness was a drunk guy.
Drunk?
He was drunk, and the story was that somebody broke into somebody's house, and the only thing it took 3 people to steal a 35 millimeter camera. And I looked at them and I'm like, what are we gonna do with it? Like, we're gonna split it 3 ways. When he said, when he's the witness, I said, he's drunk. Like, that's your way. He probably saw 3 people walking when you pulled up.
You the 3 people.
So like,
How you gonna bring him as a witness when he's drunk? I don't understand that.
They probably paid that man to say something.
it's easy for them. It's easy to portray us because, again, in their mind state, we all look the same. Even though DJ is taller than me, we look alike because we black.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's the same stereotype. They're not gonna stop until we stop it.
We got to do something. Someone asked me about the court system. Should is it wrong for? I was like, it's not the court system. I believe the laws are put in place to help. It's how people interpret them or twist them.
Yeah.
That's the problem. Those people in power, like that prosecution team or that coroner that helped put this innocent couple in jail, and then the guy ended up dying in jail. I mean, she was in there almost 30 years for something she didn't commit. She get out, she's 74 years old.
they say that they gonna pay them some money, but that money ain't doing shit.
You lost your life.
Yeah, 30 fucking years. Well, you could have been, if you wanted to have some more kids or whatever the case may be, you could have had some more kids. Or if you wanted to, whatever the fuck you wanted to do, you can't do that shit now.
You getting out in your 70s, what you gonna do now? Who gonna hire you in your 70s? Because you still gotta live.
Yeah.
Or you gonna be living off somebody?
The justice system has never been correct on our behalf anyway. There's always been 2 sets of rules.
Mm-hmm.
It's the law that benefits them and the law that assassinates us.
But see, it's the one law, but it's those people that's twisting that law and try and make it something else.
Right.
That's the problem.
The prosecution's goal is to win.
But it shouldn't be any means necessary. It's sacrificing somebody's life.
What was it? I just saw last night. CSI. It's an old episode of CSI New York.
Mm-hmm.
And Michael Clark Duncan was being charged with murder. And the lead character was like, he called me. He's like, I didn't kill this girl. And he re-examined the evidence, found out that Michael Clark Duncan was telling the truth. And he talked to the prosecutor. He's like, look, I re-examined the evidence, and this guy didn't do it. The guy's response was, this case is closed. They've already rendered their verdict. I'm not going back in there and have you perjure yourself for your testimony. Case is closed. That's the prosecution. It's like their whole goal is to win at any cost. And anything that contradicts that, they're not going to go for it. And they made it into a TV episode. But a lot of people have to understand that if you watch a lot of these episodes, especially these
they're based off of real stuff.
Based off of real stories, off of real life that actually does happen, especially with us.
Mm-hmm.
We're always thrown under the bus.
Always.
And this is like a perfect example. She's done 30 years. Like you said, what is she gonna do at 70?
Right.
But she lived long enough, and they probably mad. She lived long enough to fight it though.
She did. She did.
She lived long enough to fight it, which they probably didn't think that she was going to live long enough to do so because they had run it off.
Because the man died. You know, he didn't even get a chance to,
So,
you know, see all that stuff wiped away. He lost his family. The girl, his daughter was on camera crying because she's like, I lost my father to something that wasn't true. It's like, wow.
And there's so many more of us that are still in there.
Yeah. And the fact he's talking about it rarely happens. No, it doesn't. It happens all the time.
It's a regular occurrence.
Yes.
Look at them 4 guys that went to jail for in New York.
It's 5.
4, 5, one of them.
The rape the girl.
Yeah, in the park.
I mean, let's go back even further. Emmett Till.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And like we was just talking earlier, the Tulsa massacre.
Yeah. It's always been throughout our time since we've been here.
And they've always used the law to justify their actions against us. Because they, like you said, they manipulate it to their benefit. And a lot of us are not educated enough to counter them.
Yeah.
So we have to take responsibility on ourselves to get educated. Like you said, doing your own research, that is key.
The one thing that they hate is that they hate jailhouse lawyers, which is why they try to stop that.
Because they learn it.
He's in jail and going to read law books. They try to stop that because we give too. When you in jail, what else you got to do besides read?
That's it. That's it. Crazy. Well, moving on to the next story. Ye, formerly known as Mr. Kanye West, is reported to be helping the homeless by collaborating with streetwear brand Skid Row, where homeless people will be modeling in a fashion show. So the proceeds from the sales supposed to benefit hiring more people that are struggling with homelessness. I thought that was interesting. You're gonna have a fashion show and put homeless people in there as your models.
Well, look at the clothes that he was come out with, the ones with the holes and cuts and all
that don't make it no better.
It don't make it no better.
That's crazy.
I see it somewhat as a positive because he's getting homeless people off the street. It's giving them something that hopefully he's giving them some money from it.
Right, giving them an opportunity.
Yeah.
Hopefully.
So if he's actually giving them money from it, it gets them off the street. It gets them hopefully on the path of getting themselves together and having a good life. And not
it probably ain't gonna be that kind of much money enough to do all that.
I ain't saying a whole lot, but I'm saying it's still a paycheck for them. They can take that paycheck, and if they save enough, they can get them an apartment.
And it depends. It depends because, like you said, that's a way for a lot of people that have fallen on hard times because we don't know what a lot of those people are going through.
Yeah.
You know, there are some people that are out there that are homeless and off the grid by choice. But there are some, you know, like every one of us is like one step away from being where we don't want to be. And all it takes is for somebody, like if Kanye is genuine about it, and this is, you know, he's really serious about it, this could impact a whole lot of people that may have lost their way and trying to find their way back.
Yeah.
I guess it's like now he did come out later on, you know, after he started getting the story took off, and he's like, well, this fashion show is not on my schedule, so it's not gonna happen this year. But helping the homeless, but it's just putting them on that runway where they're displayed, and you know they're home. I don't know. It feels kind of double-edged sword to me, and I can find better ways to helping them than parading them, you know. But then they can get their pictures taken. I get it. I mean, I don't know. I'm kind of torn with that.
To me, the thing is, it should be that you're trying to help them, and not that you're trying to exploit them. Just giving them a picture.
That's the word, exploit. It feels a little exploitational.
So if he's just giving them a picture, maybe standing next to him or something like that, that's not no reward for them. That's not going to do nothing but put them right back on the street.
But if it's something that genuinely get them motivated to do something different, because the government is not doing anything.
Not going to do anything.
I mean, look around. I mean, they would rather be all of these homes here in Atlanta that can be redone, rebuilt, remodeled. but you rather put up a parking lot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All these people that are out here, like now we got what 20-degree weather coming tonight,
It was 25 this morning.
right? And these folks have nowhere to go.
Right.
It's so easy to put them down, but what are you doing to do anything different? And
Yeah.
if Kanye's move is genuine and it's beneficial to them, I'm with
Then
it.
it's okay.
But if it's just to blow your ego up, and I mean, like with Kanye, I have to wonder because considering the fact that he just rewrote the Bible according to Kanye. So,
Yeah. And then said it was a choice to be a slave for 400 years.
yeah, and considering the fact, what is it? That Ye created God. Ye created the world. The first couple verses of Genesis.
Oh,
See,
boy.
no.
Ye
You playing
created
around.
the earth.
You playing around.
Yeah, so it's like,
The thing with Kanye is that man's mind is just all over the place. And it seems like he want to believe that he could be God or something like that. But dude, just because you're a billionaire now does not mean that you're gonna be God.
It sounds like he might need some help to sit on somebody's couch. But
He
that's just
always
me.
needed
yeah,
that.
yeah.
Kim fucked him up.
Yeah.
No, I think it was mom died. That's when things
I think
start
it's
going
combination
left.
of both.
Yeah.
I think his mother was the catalyst,
Hmm.
and then I don't think being with the Kardashians helped.
Yeah.
It seemed like every one of their boyfriends be fucked up after dealing with them.
Well, Ray J wasn't.
Ray J been fucked up.
Yeah, Ray J is a whole different.
Yeah.
Whole different story.
Ray
And
J
that
survived.
That damn dude, what was that?
Lamar Odom.
Yeah, he fucked up. So what the fuck is that family doing to him?
Considering the fact that Bruce is,
Yeah.
Bruce no more.
yeah,
Yeah.
He-
What's his name?
Trina.
Her name?
I forgot what his name is now.
Jenny or
Yeah.
something.
Something like that.
Yeah, I think Jen something.
Something.
That's fucked up.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
then the shit is so fucked up because it's so publicized
Right.
that he went from man
To a woman.
to a woman. So what did that damn lady do to him?
Well, evidently he always felt like it because people should live their truth. I'm to each his own. He should live his truth. If that's what he wanted to do. But because of who he was, of course he was going to be out there in the public. And people taking shots at him. So it just comes along with it. Maybe that's why it took so long for him to come out.
It's come with that family.
Yeah,
Kanye is just the latest victim.
Can you imagine somebody asks one of them where your daddy at and they say here she is?
No longer dad. Well, always be a man because one of the yeah. So craziness. All right, moving on to what should you watch? So Lifetime is airing a 2-part documentary on Janet Jackson. So they followed her around for 5 years to make this documentary, and she talked about her relationship with her brothers and her father. Now, watching, part 1 was last night. You can still see the pain of her childhood and, just her life still really affecting her. And, we talk about being famous, but when you look at the cost and the sacrifice, I wonder, do you really want that life? Because it really does look good with the fame and fortune and all that other stuff. But when you peel back them layers of what's really going on, do you really want that smoke?
I don't know if I could do the in front of the camera type of fame type of thing. Now, I could be famous behind doors, like
You want the money,
yeah.
but you don't need all that other stuff.
It depends. I think it depends on your upbringing.
Okay, what you mean?
Because we've seen a lot of child actors come up, and we've seen them grow, and we've seen them fall. But you have to look at how they came up. What were their parents like? Like a lot of us, like with me, I think I can handle being famous on either side because I've been kept on an even keel, to where the money doesn't faze me, the fame doesn't faze me. It's just the fact of knowing where you are in the world and knowing how to handle yourself around people. Because I met Chico DeBarge once,
Mm-hmm.
And I actually didn't even know who he was. He was hanging out with some other music friends that I knew in Grand Rapids. Girls was going crazy. Chico, Chico. And I'm like, like, okay, I'm here. That's Chico DeBarge. And then in my mind, I'm like, DeBarge hanging around us. They finally pulled the album cover, and I got to sit down and talk to him. I'm like, yo, he's like, you never said nothing. And he was like, knowing who I am now, does it change how you treat me? And I was like, no, I said, I mean, at the end of the day, you still Chico. Like, you still one of the boys in the hood as far as I'm concerned. He's like, exactly.
Mm.
He said that the fame shouldn't change you.
It shouldn't.
The fame and the money shouldn't change you. The same way that you came up is the same way that you should always be. He said, that's why I keep coming back here around my people, because y'all are my people. And I've always kept that in the back of my mind, with not letting what I do go to my head.
Well, yeah, and I agree with that. I totally agree. I'm kind of like you. It's like, I don't know if I want all that limelight, but I will definitely take the money. But guess what? I at least want the opportunity to try and change the lives. let me try it. Let me get my own opinion.
It's what you do with, like, because there's a responsibility for having that fame.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of these stars have lost sight of that, because you're in the public eye and people are looking up to you. You're supposed to set a standard, and you're supposed to put it back. You're supposed to give back what you get, and a lot of them don't. Like, I've seen some where they just have the attitude like, "Why are you even a star?" And then you had ones like Chico, and like I've met other artists. Like we talk about Louis Farrakhan. I had the opportunity to meet Louis Farrakhan. He was real approachable. I've met KRS-One. They're approachable. It's how you carry yourself. And you can tell from a person's upbringing how they are.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of them, they lose it. Like, again, they let outside people influence them. And you can't do that. You're still responsible for your own actions.
Yeah.
And your own persona. You can't blame that on your publicist. You can't blame that on your agent. You can't blame that on your manager. That's your responsibility.
Okay.
And my thing is, with a lot of these stars, yes, you star, but what are you bringing back? Like, what mentality are you bringing back to the people?
Mm-hmm.
What are you giving? Yeah,
We're giving you all of this accolades,
but what are you giving back?
Admiration, but what are you giving back to us to make it feel that you're worth it?
Mm-hmm. Agreed. Agreed.
The grassroots people, like people like y'all, you giving people an opportunity, to come in here on the show, to speak, and to be known. Will we be famous off of this show? We don't know.
Yeah. We hope.
But see, but people look at, like I say, that people look at people for who they aren't, instead of who they are. Like right now, y'all here in Atlanta, and we doing this program right here. Tomorrow, y'all be worldwide. Nobody knows, but they're gonna judge you because you're just in Atlanta,
right?
Mm-hmm.
But y'all are humble people, and you open doors. They don't see that part. They don't look at that part. They just look at, well, they're not Joe Rogan.
Right. We don't have them 11 million
followers. But that doesn't matter.
Nope.
You have followers and you have listeners. That's what should count.
Mm-hmm.
That's all.
That's where you should keep your humility at, because you don't know who's watching this show.
Exactly. True. Totally agree. Now, she went on to talk about her relationship or her marriage with
James.
Yeah. And pretty much how much, the drugs really destroyed their marriage to a point where she just couldn't take it anymore. And she talked about not being, that was, and we've heard that the reason for the Control album was because she never had any control in her life. And this was her coming out of taking control back of her life. So, I mean, you could tell, some parts in there, she was crying, especially when you're talking about Michael and just some of the things that, her dad did. Now, they did give him credit, because if it wasn't for Joe Jackson, they wouldn't have been where they've been.
Right.
And he was determined not to let his kids be a victim of the streets, but now he was a hard man too. Yeah. He was a very hard man, but he was determined that his kids will never be, in no gang or laying, in no gutter or anything else. So that was the front sacrifice, and there it is. So there will be a part 2 to close up all this, but I think everybody should check that out. It's very interesting, and she was showing different video clips of stuff that we've never seen. So
I just want to say, Janet, if you're out there and you're listening, James was from Grand Rapids, I know, but he does not represent everybody from Grand Rapids, so I'm still available.
like, come holler at you.
Just want to put it out there.
And she likes short dudes. Look, she was dating John. What's his name?
I don't
Jermaine Dupri.
I didn't want to say Jermaine. I'm just saying, everybody from Grand Rapids ain't bad. So I mean, if you get back around, I'm here.
All right. All right. Moving on to. Did you know? So we're gonna get this doggone thing out here. Did you know this segment we will celebrate and acknowledge an African American and their contributions to making this country great? February is Black History Month, but we celebrate Black History Month on our show every week. So today we celebrate the amazing Anita Baker. Anita Baker was born on January 26, 1958 in Toledo, Ohio. When she was 2, her mother abandoned her and she was raised by her foster family. She started singing in nightclubs at an early age, and at 17, she joined the band Chapter 8. She toured with them for some years until going solo. It wasn't until she signed with Elektra Records where she released the album Rapture when her career skyrocketed. One of her most memorable songs is Sweet Love. And Anita went on to win many, many Grammys and awards. So we want to say happy birthday to Miss Anita Baker, and we salute you for your contributions to making this country great. Yes. Give us some claps. Yes, Miss Anita Baker, loved her. And I played the breaks off that CD. I know folks don't, some of the youngest don't know what the CD is, but it was before streaming.
Congratulations to her for winning her master's back as well.
Oh yeah, that's right.
That's dope.
Yeah, she got her master's back not too long ago.
So, and she looks amazing because she's up there in age, but black don't crack. She looks amazing. So we're gonna go on to our last. This is our last segment. Check your truth on some things that are on my mind that I need to just blow this shit out. So on my show, The Power Hour with the Real Ass People Society, live on Fridays at 7 p.m. on Terradome Entertainment Radio on Live 365. Yes, I put that plug in there. I talked about depression and how some people mask their depressions with drugs, alcohol, sex, living a lie, etc. Depression and mental health are nothing to be taken lightly. I know firsthand myself, that depression and mental health can be crippling or a deadly disease if left untreated. God or higher power or whoever you believe in didn't make a mistake in your creation. Always believe that you are here for a purpose, and that purpose is to share your gift with the world. What you will find that you are not alone and somebody cares about your well-being. So as your president of the Real Ass People Society, I encourage everybody to not be afraid to seek help or talk to someone about your struggles. And if you haven't heard from someone in a while that's in your circle, reach out and check on them just to make sure they're good. It can be as simple as sending a text just to let them know you're thinking about them. One text can save someone's life. So God bless you and these United States of America. Give my own little claps. So DJ Talent, go ahead on and take us out.
All right, y'all know what it is. This is again the real,
the raw,
and the
motherfucking rugged.
You dig? Every Saturday at 12 noon. Check us out. You can go to info@terradomeent.com for any information or even to get replays of this. You can go on live365.com. Look under Terradome Entertainment Radio. We will be having replays of every show that we do. And as she said, she has a show called The Real Ass People Society that comes on Friday at 7 p.m. every Friday. Now, if you are an artist, recording artist, and you don't have a location to go to, we have a studio right here in this facility for you. Also, we have the podcast location here, also radio station here. If you have a podcast that you want to do, just hit us up at info@terradome.ent, and we can get you a set going on. Also, if you are a photographer but don't have a location to take your talent, we also have a location for that. Just again, hit us up at info@terradome.ent.com. I am DJ Talented. To my right, I have
Miz Entertainment, MIZZENTATL on all social media.
And to my left, I have
Willie D. Davis IV.
So any questions to anyone on the show, Mr. Willie D, Miss Entertainment, or myself, again, hit us up at info@terradome.ent. We will see you on the next show. We out of here.
We give you the real, like you popping a red pill. Ain't no time for acting, it's like camera action. Real life is a script, real talk is what it is. Enlighten your success, we back at it again. Until you can't filter it, it's raw, uncut, no taste. Give it to you in your face, fresh off the chopping block. Delivery every Sunday, rugged, it is the show with substance. Guaranteed you leave with something, put that in your pipe and smoke it.